Getting products out the door accurately and on time is pretty much the lifeblood of any business that sells stuff. But when you look inside your ERP system, you'll find there isn't just one way to ship. Today, we're going to break down the four main ways to process shipments so you can find the absolute perfect fit for your operation.
And this is a really critical question to ask yourself, because choosing the wrong process now can lead to some major headaches down the road. We're talking costly redevelopment, frustrated staff, and delayed shipments. This choice can either be a powerful engine for your growth or a frustrating bottleneck holding you back.
Yeah, this is one of those decisions you really want to get right from the get-go. As the source material from Olaf Simran points out, this decision impacts everything: your day-to-day procedures, what your printouts look like, even custom modifications. So choosing your path up front is absolutely key.
All right, so how are we going to tackle this? Well, we're going to look at it like a journey, building from the simple to the complex. Think of it as a crawl, walk, run, sprint model. We'll kick things off with the most basic method, shipping directly from an order, and work our way up to a fully optimized, top-tier system. Let's get into it. Okay, our first stop is the most direct route you can take, shipping right from the order screen. This is what we're calling the crawl stage. It's perfect for businesses just starting out or those with really simple logistics. And in practice, it's literally as simple as it sounds. Your team opens an order, punches in the quantity that's going out the door, and clicks post, all from that same screen. It's a true one-stop shop approach. The workflow is super lean. Open the order, type in how many you're shipping, and post. Done. But the key thing to remember, and you can see it highlighted here, is that the final action, the post that makes it official in your system, happens right there on the order document itself. Okay, so let's talk about the trade-offs, because there are definitely some big ones. On the one hand, it's dead simple. You can even ship things that aren't physical items, like services. But the downsides can really start to hurt as you grow. For one, you can only handle one order at a time, and if you have this same item in a few different bins, it gets messy fast. And here's a big one, something you really got to think about. You're giving your warehouse staff a peek behind the curtain at the whole sales order. That means they might see sensitive stuff like customer pricing. Not ideal. So what happens when that simple process starts to feel, well, a little too simple? When you need to separate your warehouse duties from your sales team and, hide that pricing info, that's when you graduate to the walk stage, the inventory pick. This is all about adding a crucial layer of control. You can think of the inventory pick as a clean, simple to-do list for your warehouse crew. It just says, hey, go grab these specific items for this order. It brilliantly separates the what from the why. The picker doesn't need to see the customer's special price. They just need to know what to grab and how many. And see that? The process has a new step. Once an order is released for shipping, someone creates a separate pick document. The warehouse team uses that list to go gather the items. But the really big shift is where that post happens. It's now on the pick document. Once the warehouse crew confirms everything's picked, that single action automatically posts the shipment on the original order. Pretty slick. And honestly, this is a huge step up. Your warehouse folks get a way simpler screen to look at. Plus, the system is smart. It won't even let you create a pick unless the items are actually in stock, which saves a ton of wasted time. It also totally solves that problem of picking one item from multiple locations. But, and it's a big but, you're still stuck in a one-by-one world, processing just one order at a time. All right, so what happens when your business really starts to take off? When you're not just shipping a few orders, but dozens, maybe hundreds a day? Well, you can't just walk anymore. It's time to start running. And that brings us to option 3, the warehouse shipment, which is all about scaling up through consolidation. The core idea here is all about efficiency. The way to think about this is brilliant. Imagine the FedEx truck only shows up once a day at 4 p.m. You're not going to run out with one little package every time an order is ready, right? No way. You're going to gather everything that's going out on that truck into one big pile. That's exactly what a warehouse shipment document does inside your ERP. So the whole workflow changes. Instead of dealing with individual orders, you create one single warehouse shipment, and then you start pulling in all the different orders that fit. Maybe it's everything going to California or everything for a specific carrier. All those orders get managed as one unit, and when it's all ready, you post the entire shipment in one go. So consolidation is the name of the game here. It's a total game changer for planning your day. You can get shipments ready in advance and just process them in big batches. But, you guessed it, there are trade-offs. It gets more complex. You have to gather items together first because the system can't tell you to go to multiple bins for one line item. And tracking things like lot numbers, that becomes an extra step on a different screen. Okay, We've crawled, we've walked, we've run. Now, for the final stage, it's time to sprint. This is the most powerful, but also the most complex option. This is for businesses that need a full-blown warehouse management system, or WMS. This is like taking the best parts of the last two methods and smashing them together. You get that awesome consolidation power of the warehouse shipment, but then you add a guided warehouse pick on top of it. This creates a hyper-optimized path for your team to follow to grab all the items for that entire group of orders at once. Now, this is a much deeper process. You create the big shipment, then you create the optimized pick. The picker follows the route. But here is the absolute key difference. Look at step 4. The picker doesn't post anything. They register the pick. All that does is tell the system, hey, I've moved these items from their home bin over to the shipping area. That's it. The final post that actually ships everything still happens back on that main warehouse shipment document. Look, the upside here is massive. We're talking maximum efficiency. You can have several people picking for the same big shipment at the same time, all following the most efficient routes. It's the absolute peak of warehouse control. But the cost? It's complexity. Big time. With this many steps, if you make a mistake, undoing it can be a real pain. This is really only for operations where shaving a few seconds off every single pick adds up to a huge financial win. Whew, okay, so we've covered the whole journey, from a slow crawl to an all-out sprint. So the big question is, how do you pick your path? The number one takeaway here is that there is no single best way. It's all about matching the process to your business, your volume, your complexity, and your specific needs. And honestly, this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. If you're all about simplicity, you start by shipping from the order. When you need more control and accuracy, you step up to the inventory pick. When your volume gets high enough that you need to consolidate, the warehouse shipment is your friend. And for those who need total optimization, the advanced pick is the end goal. Each one is a logical step up from the last. So that leaves you with a question to take back to your team. Looking at this, which path are you on right now? And maybe even more important, is it the right path to get you where you want to go tomorrow?